This is the Rangers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Texas Rangers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Rangers had the day off on Monday, and their bats took the game off tonight as they were routed by the Royals by the final of 6-1. Let me take this off here really quick. There we go. 6-1, the final 3 home runs for KC on a night that Jack Leiter got lit up, and another one and done for the Rangers offense. The 4-game winning streak is over, and the Rangers are now back below 500. Here we go. Welcome into the Rangers POSTCAST, your team every game. And I am Jeff Biggs, longtime host and reporter. Thank you so much for watching Locked On Sports Rangers, your destination after every single game. You can also find us on the Locked On Rangers podcast feed. That is where you will find the great work of Bryce Paterick every single day. Bryce had a great recap of the weekend, and I know he is not going to be happy about this one, not loving this outcome tonight for sure, as the Rangers roll over at home to the Royals by the final of 3-1.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Well, you know what? I think there's really no other way to say it. Aside from the fact that the reality is, even though the Rangers have been better offensively, they have put some runs on the board, they've been able to, pad those stats back up a little bit against some really bad teams and some really bad pitching. But with that said, I think it is not being critical to say that they are still not only not where they want to be, but they do indeed still have ways to go to where they want to go offensively. And tonight was another example of that. And the other reality is, and unfortunately, every once in a while, you might see a pitcher kind of avoid going down this road, but by and large, pretty much any big league pitcher that's going to have a career in Major League Baseball has to go through some growing pains. And what we saw tonight was just more growing pains for young Jack Leiter. I mean, there is just no other way to sugarcoat that. He's got a great arm, great stuff, great upbringing, great fight, all of those intangibles. But the bottom line is he's still a young pitcher, and we have seen the progress 100%. But tonight, no doubt, was his second worst outing of the season. The only one worse was he had that Friday night start against the Mariners back in the beginning of May. But this one wasn't. I mean, he had better moments. I mean, after the first inning, he settled down a little bit, but then got tagged again. And these are just growing pains for Leiter. But easy to say, the turning point in this game came early.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Well, the game was unfortunately pretty much over in the top of the first inning. Again, growing pains for young Jack Leiter. And look, some days you're going to have just filthy stuff, like the game a few starts ago when Leiter almost had a no-hitter. You're going to have games like that where your stuff is that good. You're going to have other games, kind of like the Minnesota game, where your command is kind of off, not where you want it to be, and it's a grind, but you still find a way to keep your team in the game, right? And then you're going to have some nights like tonight where you have some good stuff. You're able to make some pitches. You're able to bunch some outs together, 7, 8 in a row. But when you face good veteran big league hitters, there are going to be times when you make mistakes and maybe your fastball is good, but you're trying to throw and mix in your other pitches and you make a mistake, and the good big league hitters are going to make you pay. And that is exactly what happened tonight. Now, on top of that, I mean, look, last season, when the Royals were here, they laid an egg. Bobby Witt Jr., back here in Texas, he laid an egg. I mean, he was horrible last season. I mean, it was just embarrassing. And so clearly he came to play tonight. I mean, he was fired up. And look, the Royals, rolled into town with a 6-game losing streak. So they were motivated. They were ready to play. And they really set the tone in that top of the first inning. And Jack Leiter has been really good in the first inning. It's usually been like the third or the fourth where he kind of loses it a little bit and then comes back around. But they jumped on him early. I thought Witt really set the tone with that really hard double. He scored on a shallow base hit, and then Salvador Perez getting him red hot right now. The first of his 2 home runs, this one opposite field, and just like that, the Rangers are down 3-0. Top of the fourth, Salvador Perez, another home run. An RBI double. The home run would come later. RBI double after the walk to Pasquantino. Walks are killer, as we all know. At the bottom of the fourth, Alejandro Osuna, making the most of his rare opportunity, gets an RBI single with 2 outs to make it 4-1. That was Osuna's first big league RBI. Congrats to him on that. I've said this before. Love the intensity. Love the way that he plays hard and carries himself. Not sure, he could have a role as a role player, but I just don't see, without that home run power, hard to see him as an everyday big league player. But we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he continues to improve. Right now, he's more of a hard playing, slap hitter that can spray the ball. But good to see him make the most of his opportunity for sure. 4-1, and then Casey would come back, though, right back in the top of the fifth. Bobby Witt Jr. with his home run. That made it 5-1. And then adding insult to injury, Salvador Perez, his second home run, this one to left. 3 extra base hits for Perez in this one, and it was 6-1. Nice to see Seager and Simeon get their hits in the bottom of the 8th, but too little too late. Only 5 hits in the game, 1 run, 1 hit with runners in scoring position as the Rangers continue to struggle in that department. The only highlight, as you heard, probably the perfect 10 outs for Caleb Bosley, who pitched really well. But again, the game was over and the Royals were already playing their backups, and so it is what it is. Jack Leiter, 5 2/3, 6 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and the 3 home runs. And the Rangers will try to bounce back tomorrow with Patrick Corbin on the mound. All right, we're going to take our time out. When we come back, want to hear from you via the comment crew. Tough one tonight, though. The Rangers get crowned by the Royals 6-1. This is the Rangers Postcast. All right, well, if you want to get the supplies you need from the site Made for the Skilled Trades, Supply House, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you will always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And don't forget open phone. If you are running a business, okay, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency, like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? Nope. You called the next one, right? Well, that's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need open phone. Okay. Open phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. And the AI agent handles after-hour calls, answers common questions, and captures leads so you never miss a customer again. So, Open Phone is offering Locked On POSTCAST listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's OPENPHONE.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone. No missed calls, no missed customers. All right, welcome back to the Rangers postcast. The Rangers fall to Kansas City in the opener of this 3-game series, 6-1. The 4-game winning streak is over, and the Rangers will try to bounce back tomorrow. CR says, send Corey Seager down. Corey had a couple hits tonight. He didn't extend his 10 walk streak tonight, unfortunately, but Jason Arias jumping in the fun as well. CR says, I feel like Josh Young probably needs to wear a helmet even when he isn't hitting. I've seen confused, dumb looks on people, but I fear he may not even be able to spell his own name. Robert Bennett says we can't hit. Jason Arias says, my bad, I'm used to the trolls on X. Jason says, let's remember the Royals had a good start to the season, and a long losing streak that they were on recently was bound to come to an end, and it so happened to be against the Rangers tonight. Yeah, no doubt. And as for Josh Young, you may have noticed he did not play again tonight. He was also out of the lineup on Sunday, but Bruce Bochy said before the game that he is going to have Josh back in the lineup tomorrow. Doesn't look like that will be the case for Josh Smith, who has a sore upper hamstring. It sounds more like a glute issue, or in that area, right of the butt. But hopefully, doesn't sound like it's too serious. And you can kind of understand it a little bit, right? Josh, some of his plate appearances over the weekend, he was running really, really hard. So I was not not surprised when I heard that he was a little bit sore. Jason Arias says Rangers can still take this series. Yes. D-85G says, I try to stay positive about this team, saying it's a long season, but seeing games like this time and time again, it's getting exhausting. Flat out, we need to just play better, period. Yep, need to swing the bats better and need to score for sure. Texas Hobby Ben says, tough one tonight, and Bubic taking the mound tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. Yep. Well, you figure the Rangers are going to be locked in, and I think they're going to be kind of similar to what we saw tonight with the Royals. I mean, the Royals were locked in early on Leiter, and they jumped on him early, and we'll see how that goes. Jason Arias says, would love to see a Cody Bradford start. Also, what is your thoughts on Osuna so far? Well, I like the kid. I touched on it briefly in the open, Jason. I like the kid a lot. I love his intensity. I love his hustle, and you can just tell that he's a competitor and all those great intangibles. But unfortunately, he just doesn't have the pop. Now, right now, that's the case. That could come, as he gets more comfortable, maybe gets a little bit stronger. But right now, I mean, I see a guy that is quick, plays hard, is smart at the plate, and can get you some base hits. But in the big leagues, if you're going to play in the outfield, you really need to be able to hit the home run. And I just don't see that in his game. And I mean, it's been a while since he played. And before tonight, he was like in a stretch of 22, 23 games where 23 at bats that he did not get on base. Remember, he was getting on base every game that he played. So I give him credit. I mean, he made the most of his opportunity tonight, but we'll see if they decide when everybody's healthy, if they want to continue to keep him around as a reserve, or does that go just strictly to Haggerty? Do they need to make a move? When Bradford and Gray come back, we'll see. But I like the kid. I'm pulling for him for sure. Good question, though, Jason, for sure. D-Dash says, for what it's worth, I think Jack Leiter is the future of this team, along with Rocker. These guys will be the foundation of this rotation in the future. It takes some guys a few years to dial it in. Yeah, no doubt. And look, we've already seen it this season. I mean, Leiter is better and better and better. And that's, unfortunately, though, it's outings like tonight. I mean, this is how you learn. Okay, this happened tonight. Okay, I'm going to store that and make sure that I don't do it again. And you learn from it, and you grow, and you become better. And I think we're seeing that. And he'll get it going. Hey, I'd rather kind of go through some of these lumps now and have him get on a nice, awesome run in the second half, which I think absolutely is going to be possible. You get into August and September, and you get into the dog days, and pitchers can really get on a roll and really get on a second wind, especially young, strong, up and coming starters like Jack. So I'm looking forward to that. Jason says, do you think that Jock Peterson can come back and actually make a difference, or should Chris Young focus on getting us a bat by the deadline? Well, two parts to that, Jason. Number one, when we have Bob Nightingale on, Bob right now lives in Arizona, and he, you know, he's covered Josh's whole career, but really got to see him a lot last season with the Diamondbacks. And I asked him, I said, hey, you know, Jock was really struggling before he went down and broke his hand. Do you really think that Jock can come back and maybe not have some of the pressure, come back and, finish and have a good season? And Bob said unequivocally, yes. So we'll see. I mean, that could be, like an addition right there if he can come back and be a factor. I mean, he really hit the ball well last season, and that's not too long ago. So hopefully he can find that again. Interesting, I heard an interview with Chris Young that he did yesterday, and Chris was asked about the deadline and getting a bat, and his answer was, well, it was twofold. I mean, he said that the best thing the Rangers can do would be to have the guys that they have already here playing up to their capabilities and the way that they should be. That would be better, he believes, than any move they can make. Now, whether or not that happens or not, we'll see. Obviously, Chris, you have to continue in his position publicly, back your players and believe in them, and believe that they can do better and will do better. But he also, at the end of that answer, said, however, we'll see where we're at in the middle of July, at the end of July, and see what moves we need to make. So we'll see. We'll see where they're at. When we spoke with Bob Nightingale, he said that there's not going to be a lot available this year, and so I think if you're Chris Young, you're going to have to keep it kind of under the radar, maybe do some things behind the scenes, but I kind of agree, though. I mean, really, more than anything, if the Rangers are going to do what they need to do, they need this lineup to get rolling, and it's like they'll have a good game where a couple guys will play well, and then they'll go, 3, 4, 5 games without doing anything. That has to stop. Jake Berger, great example. He'll get hot for a couple of games and then ice cold for a week. And I'm not picking on him. I'm just using his as an example. That has to get that can't continue. They need to cut those lows down and get into more of a groove. One more. This is from D-85. I really like Bosley from what I've seen so far. Great arm out of the pen. Yeah, I mean, the Rangers bullpen has been, outstanding. I mean, they right now are the best bullpen in baseball by the numbers. And I mean, the pitching is dealing with some injuries right now, but still kind of navigating through it. Coming into tonight, the Rangers had won 7 of 8, now 7 of 9. But really, they just need to get the offense going and just get some, get some comfort and consistency at the plate. I mean, it's really that simple. And the good news is we're still in mid-June, and thankfully nobody has run away with the division. But at some point, you got to get going. Now they still have a chance to win the series. They've won the last 3 series, 4 out of 5. You want to make sure that you win your series at home, and so hopefully they'll do that, beginning with a win tomorrow. What would I think? I don't have a number for you, Jason, but I still expect this team with this pitching, I know I keep saying it, and it may not make sense, but with this pitching, they can't waste this pitching in this season. And so, I mean, for me, they have to make the playoffs. Have to. I mean, it's not even, to me, a question. They have to find a way to get this done. And I think, with Bruce and the guys on this team, I think they will. I do believe they will turn it around. I do. I think they will. Not sure when. I wish I could give you the date and tell you how, but I think when you just look at their group compared to some of the, I think we're going to see other teams in the American League fall back, and I think you're going to see this team move forward. Now, will it be enough to go all the way and to win the World Series? Not sure yet, but we'll see. Real quick before we go, a couple of updates. I'm way over. Nathan Eovaldi threw another bullpen today. He's going to face live hitters this weekend in Pittsburgh. Hopefully, we'll be back maybe next week at some point. Cody Bradford is set to begin a minor league rehab assignment this weekend. Josh Sborz is going to throw a bullpen tomorrow. And apparently, John Gray has 3 more bullpen sessions before he can face live hitters. So what they're going to do is he'll throw a bullpen, go through the routine, wait a few days, throw another one, and they're just taking it slow. But I think they're trying to load the deck and get everything ready to go for the end of the first half or beginning of the second half after the break. Texas Hobby Ben, thank you for that. Good way to wrap us up. Tough one tonight, but the Rangers will try to bounce back tomorrow with Patrick Corbin on the mound. I will be with you after the game. Hopefully you can join me then, but thank you to everybody jumping in and being part of the show tonight. Appreciate it very much. Final score, the Rangers fall to the Royals 6-1. This has been the Rangers Postcast.